Now, I'm taking the microphone off. Sorry about that again. What happened was I tried to move the microphone around, took the camera around so as I could show you what was happening with the deck. And I touched the wrong button. So that's how the deck looks at the moment. So that gun we've just been doing is gun number 4. So that will go there. So that's not looking too bad. There's some really silly bits on this. That bit down there, which you can't see very well, but it has 3 little tiny bits of super. That stuff that you put on photo etch. It's alright, I'm just getting the other gun. So that's how the deck looks at the moment. I mean, obviously I've not done that gun yet. So now that gun's getting done now. So that looks better. What are you doing? Right, now that's the booms that go across the bow, stern. They're Jacob's ladders that hang down off there. I'm not 100% certain what they're for. They might be for dragging the, what are they called, paravanes. I reckon they're probably used for that. The two, let me sit down, I can see better then. Right, now then, so the two davits that you see there, that little white spot you see is where I had the davit originally. I had them in the wrong position. Those two davits, and that's where I've taken them out and I've put a little bit of filler in, so that needs painting up. Those two davits are the ones that hold the ladder down the side. There's another one there which isn't used for anything in the kit. Nothing that I can find it for, it's apparently for the ammunition. But you see I've got a few bits around the guns. Now looking at that gun now, actually looks quite good, doesn't it? Compared to what it would have looked like. I haven't really got a piece. It would have looked like that. You see, it would have looked like that. That's not going to... Considering how that would have looked, had I not taken, filed it all down and sanded it round to that sort of look, it is a completely different gun. Let me just do this. Not the best way to do it, this, but this will give you a rough idea of what I'm talking about. This is probably not the piece that belongs on there, to be fair. But this would go, so that piece would go on there. So that would sit on there like that. Now you can see the difference between the two edges of them things. You know, I mean, this one here, I'm trying to hold this without turning it off. So this gun here, as you can see, it's not been rounded off or anything, and no photo etch added, so that one's had the photo etch added. So you can certainly see the difference between them two. But the guns look pretty good. The handrails have gone on really well. They're the MK1 handrails rather than the handrails that come with the kit. They're a lot better. And they look really good. They're painted up grey, painted in situ. And most of this is painted on in situ. The deck is deck tan. I prefer this to the wooden decks. Doesn't look it, but with that gun that I've just done, with all that photo etch I've just put on there, there's about 80 pieces of photo etch on that deck already. And there's over 100 pieces of various bits just on that little bit of deck. And I'll do this deck by deck. the next deck I'll do is the middle deck. Centre deck, not this, not the shelter deck, the centre deck. And then once I've done the centre deck, I will then do the bow deck. And then, you know, I mean, that's what it's looking like. I will then do the bow deck. Let me move away so you can see roughly now what it's looking like. So it's beginning to look like a ship. It's beginning to look like HMS Hood. It's just such a shame that the way it went. But no, what was I saying? So the centre deck next and the bow deck. And this shelter deck will be done last. The one thing that's going to bug me with the shelter, with the deck, it's this part here. You go right back here, is this. All them bits that are marked down are where all the photo etches added. You've got all this going on in the deck. A lot of stuff there going on that deck. You know, and then bang, smack bang, the shelter deck sits on top of it. And all of this is all hidden. You won't see a single bit of it. Apart from if you look through, well, you will see, if you look through into the shelter deck, then you will be able to see it. But this is completely done away with. So that's how it's looking at the moment. I'll put another video up at some point. It's 1:45 now. I'm going to take the dog for a walk. We've actually got sunshine outside, but it's but the light will, bit by bit now, the light will fade. I'm going to have a bit of lunch, get myself sort of sorted out from doing all that photo etch. These are the bits that have got to go on next. So those 4 little tiny, and they are tiny, these, that's my finger, you see how small they are. You know, just put a pair of tweezers next to them. And you can see they are tiny, tiny little bits. So those 4 bits are the bits that wrap around the gun barrels, at the bottom of the gun barrels. There's that bit there goes across the top of the gun barrel. And of course the ladder that came off. And the other bit that's got to be bent in shape. So that's not too bad. Sorry about swinging it around all the time. So that's actually come out quite well, and I'm quite happy with that bit of photo etch I put in for all that bending. But like I say, what's going to happen now is by the time that's Cassie, that's Daisy, who I'm just about to take out. Daisy, we're about to go walkies, so let's have a look where you are. Oh, you're fast asleep. Hello, darling. Now then, what we're going to do? You're going to go out. Getting a bit grey now, look. You're getting old lady, aren't you? Hey? Hello. Wag your tail for everybody. Oh, Daisy. I know I love you. Yes, I do. I love you. Yes, I do. I love you. Oh, let's have a little stretchy wetchy. Right, now. Bye-bye. Now, let's have a look what it's like. We'll go out here. And now, what I'll do now is I'm going to make you bark now. I'm going to make you bark. You dog. You're a dog. You're a dog. Oh! All right, I'm sorry. No, come on. It's all right. Oh, you're going grey, mate. You're getting old, like me. Right, so I'm about to take her out for a walk. Sorry about moving all around the place. And then once I've taken her out for a walk, that's Jason, dead 20 odd years now. So once I've taken her out for a walk, it's no good me looking at you because you can't see me. I can't turn the camera around to face me. I won't be able to do anything to this afternoon. another hour or so, you won't be able to see anything in here. I tried it the other day, and without the light on that thing, you just don't have the light. So what I'll do now is I'll call that a day. I'll finish off them guns. You know, you've got the gist now how the guns are going to go. I won't bore you with any more bits doing all the photo etch. Next time you see it, I'll have them guns hopefully finished and in place. Well, I won't glue them in place. They'll hopefully be finished, and then they'll hopefully all be painted up, and then it'll be ready for the, like I say, the centre deck. But you can see, you can just about pick up the handrails from here. They were, luckily they were very straight, and they were put on in sections. I did them in about, up to that first, they're in 3 sections. So I didn't glue them in one place, in one piece, like I used to do. I glued from here, I think it's around here somewhere. I glued about 4 or 5 stanchions, then 4 or 5 stanchions, they went on in bits and pieces like that. Now, I know these probably weren't black, but they look all right like that. They show up a bit more. There is artistic license in some ways. You don't need to do it, but you do. It's a real sort of thing, this, with the hood. I know its history. I know what it did with the Bismarck, and I know how you can, and it is painted up, as you can see, the grey underbelly, anti-fouling. Now I know it looks. You can only just tell the colour. I've mentioned it before. You can just about see the difference in the colour top to bottom. The top is, of course, the colour that I've now forgotten. Home Fleet Grey. So it's, and the bottom, maybe I could have made the bottom slightly darker, but I think that looks pretty good. You get used to that, and when it catches the light in certain ways, it looks far lighter than it is. You know, you can see that it's changing colour. It depends on the light and where you are. So although it takes a bit of getting used to not having a red bottom, but it does look better. It's I'm happy with it. But what was I saying? You see, with the hood, you can do there's so many different ways. You can look at the alterations for it on the HMS Hood website, and a lot of them are for when it's sunk. But you don't necessarily have to build it exactly as it was when it got sunk. You can build it in different ways, so you can have it from different years. I mean, I'm trying to stick it to as best as I can to 1942, but it's looking good. It's a complicated little model, this. I've never done a model like this of this calibre before. It's always been sort of, well, I've done the wooden models, but I've never done anything this big, ever. I've done let me show you. I think I tried this once before and it didn't work out. So that's the Prince of Wales that I built years ago. I'm well and truly knackered now. There's all sorts of bits off of that now. This is what I mean about the light coming down. Hello, darling. And then I've got the Titanic and the Queen Mary. I've got the Yamato up there. Yamato. That, once again, very smooth. It's got bits and pieces off it. Then I've got these are wooden models. That's the trawler. No, that's the tugboat. That's the trawler. And that's the Mississippi River boat. Now, all that rigging on there, I built this quite a few years ago. So all that rigging on there I was able to do. I could never do that now. So they look quite good in a little group like that. The Titanic is obviously wood. Queen Mary is plastic. The Yamato is plastic. I've got the Meccano racing car there. I've got a dog down there. I've got a Lego, whatever that is, Well, there you go, Overcraft. That is a wooden model of catching the light, you see. That's a wooden model of Stephenson's rocket from AL, Argentina Latina. That is, I think it's like a Da Vinci catapult. Little Meccano car down there. I've got the Land Rover there, Discovery. I was going to paint it up, funny enough, the colour of the Vera one. That took ages to do. It took a lot of. There's about three or 4,000 parts in that wooden telephone box from Argentina Latina. Every bit of that had to be cut out from a template. So that's all my models. I've got the Enterprise, obviously, and then the search and rescue vessel. That's a small, it's a miniature blocks. But there's over 1,000 blocks in that. Mini blocks. That's the Louvre in Paris. So I'm varying my modelling, but I used to do all that wooden modelling, and it just got too complex. It got too complicated. My hands were like, they're like this, as you could see when I was doing that bit. That's just age, by the way. I mean, I'm 71 in a few weeks. Not long, couple of months, April. So that the old hands are no longer, I mean, they're fairly steady, as you can see. That's the camera shaking, not me. So my hands are steady, but then when it comes to doing little tiny bits, of course, then the shakes come in. So I did originally, by the way, put the flag on that. I put the flag on that back jackstaff. I didn't like it at all. Absolutely horrible flags. They're so big, they're unreal. I mean, I suppose they were that big, but when it was on and you stood back and looked at the model, the actual flag dominated the model. So I thought, nope, not going to do that. You can forget that. So that came off. I might use one on the mast at the very end, at the top of the mast. And then that's going to be a really nice sort of thing. And that's the mess of the table. You just get bits and pieces. I don't know how you make such a mess. So now I think the first video that I did cut out. I didn't realise it had cut out. I'm sorry for that. I was gabbing away and you didn't see me do a lot of that gun. But like I say, that I'll finish off the next bit of that silly little bit of folding up and put that in place. Then I'll put the next gun in. I'll do the next gun up. I don't think the next gun is number 3. No, gun number 1. Gun number 3. That is piece number, doesn't tell you. So that is piece number H3. H4. H3 and H4. No, that might be right. H3 is, you make 3 of them guns, but they don't all have ladders on. They don't all have these ladders on. So that bit that I've just put on, I've got no idea what number that is. I should have really made a note of what number that was. The piece I put just on was H4. The piece that I've just switched off, taken off, which I now can't see because I haven't got my glasses on, is H3. So actually that bit, that's number 1. H3 goes on number 1. H4 goes on number 4, which is what I've just done. And these ones don't give you any numbers. So that means that so that might be correct. So anyway, I'm going on here. this will all have the ladders going off the side. Although that's all now complete, it's there's still a few bits to go on the side, but they'll be put on at the very end. And then we'll see about getting them done. And then what I'll do, I'll come back probably when I start on the middle deck and show you the updates for the middle deck. You've seen that gun being made, you get the idea, like I say. You've seen that bit. That's that little bit there. A little tiny bit there, you see the two tags on, with the 1, 2, 3, 4 bends in it. Which I was quite pleasantly surprised. That's come out really well. I think it's come out really, really well. So I will see you all again, maybe in a few days, maybe next week. We'll have to see how long it takes for me to finish and paint up all them guns. The barrels I won't leave open. They will have the I don't know if you can see this. They will have those round bits in there. Where are we? These bits. They will have them bits in. I've got to make these bits up now for the top of that deck. That's got 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know why I'm zooming that in. That's got 4 of them, but there's actually only 2 of them. There's 1 there and 1 there. 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. It's a bit weird, that. I don't think there's any of them used anywhere else. I'll have to check on that. There might be some of them used somewhere else. In which case, you'd only use 1. Maybe they bend over, as happens in this bit, but they've got tags on them, so that's 4 separate pieces. So we'll have to look on that one. That's these bits here. It seems to show 2, but I don't think there are 2. That's how it goes together, and then it's showing it how it looks once it's upside down. And you could, if I really, really felt like it, I could make them out of the kit parts, which are plastic parts with all the little bits put in. And they look, I reckon the plastic parts would look just as, and they will go here, here and here. Now the plastic parts will look good, but of course will just be flat plastic. So they won't have the benefit of looking like that. They won't have that benefit. So once that, and as you've already seen, I've put these 2 little bits in. I'll put them 2 bits in. I'll put the ladder in last. I'm a bit bugged about that ladder falling out, but it does come over. It does come over the edge to sit, but it doesn't sit on the deck. It's a bit of a pain. But anyway, I'll put that in and then it'll get painted up. And then I'll come back to you once I start doing that middle deck. You see, it looks different colour, you see, at the front and the middle and the stern, because of the way the grey light picks up the light. So we're on to now finishing off them guns, and then I'll get back to you. Happy modelling, everybody. Hope you enjoyed these videos. Feel free to make any comments, if you feel like subscribing, subscribe. Any likes would be nice. But hopefully I will see you all again in maybe 4 or 5 days, maybe next week, maybe this week. I reckon it'll take a couple of 3 days to do them guns and paint them all up. Because like I say, I know that it looks alright now with the light coming through the window. But by the time I take Daisy out now for a walk, get back again, have our lunch, it's going to be 3:30, getting on for 4 o'clock by the time I come back. and it'll be too dark to see anything in here then. So I will see you all again, hopefully in a few more days, and hopefully I'll be able to show you that deck completed with all the guns painted. So thank you for watching, everybody. Thank you for listening to me, and I'm happy modelling, everybody.